Welcome to the Saturday Top-Up Show. Sans Gord, who's having a day off for his birthday. Good morning, Glenn Pollard.
G'day, Mark. G'day, everybody. Great weather, light scratchings, fantastic.
Yeah, hard not to be excited, and there is a general bubble or hubbub in the chat room. Very, very keen to address the meetings around the country today. Top and bottom, we've got Flemington as well, and it looks a day to savour. Now, as far as the action is concerned, as Glenn mentioned, light scratchings. The track has come up a 5. The penetrometer did improve quite significantly over the course of the last 24 hours, and I would, if this track is dead, it's only just dead. And obviously we're looking out to see what effect the 6-metre rail has on the pattern early doors, which will be difficult to determine from a staying race where we lost the leader. So the favourite has been given the green light here, Glenn.
I suppose, Mark, I just, I think it's a moral where I want to lay it. How does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Glue on shoes. Our man from the West says that's a big no-no. First time glue on shoes there, Carter Noir, and a fair bit of action there at a price that I thought was a touch longer than it might start out at. So that's interesting.
Yeah, especially with I thought it might have firmed a bit more than that, especially with pressure out of the race. Look, I'm looking forward to having a look in the parade yard, and I'm fingers crossed they do nothing.
Anyway, look, it now sets up as J-Mac in the lead. It's had the 2,400 metre run. It'll be interesting to see if anything can run it down.
Do anything, yeah. Do anything.
All right. Yeah, the highway. So that's a steady start there. The highway, money for legwork overnight, which is not yet reflected in anything Betfair-wise. And the favourite with the course and distance win, Yulong Base, there is a degree of resistance to this. I think I mentioned on the previous show yesterday that its numbers were perhaps a touch on the weak side.
Amy's Shadow found Jake Collett. I see that this morning. That's a good rider for Amy's Shadow.
That must make you happy, and not quite as long as you might have hoped. I think others have had the same idea there, but bits and pieces obviously around the place as far as this race is concerned. I still think Yulong Base should. It's hard to imagine not being in the finish off that dominant course and distance win. But as I said,
there's bits and pieces there.
Well, it did get favours, and as I say, the figures are bad, so the syndicates will be looking to play elsewhere.
I think looking at that first opening market, the horse that jumps off the page at me as over the odds is number 1.
Yeah, well, it's
if it's going to be $15, that seems a fair price.
Yeah, it's got the 7-day backup and the tighten up from last week. I think
my numbers are
very
still
low percentage horse, and it's got a low percentage running style here. So that's why it's
my numbers are still 8-3-1, Mark. There, nothing's changed.
Race 3, we're looking at Badush being quite firm overnight, and it's the most matched in the race at this stage.
Yeah,
ahead of She's Ideal. So Badush, a horse of interest because it's stepping from 15 to 18, and obviously it didn't come out of the gates the other day and just settled back back on the inside, well back. Gord quite bullish about She's Ideal with the Nash booking and the suggestion from Mapmaker and others that She's Ideal will push into a position it can do something from. And New King has lost all his gloss now, despite the fact that he's back to Rosehill. A little bit of interest in Quintessa there. Should be a good betting race, Glenn.
It should be a good betting race, and sets up as a good race, good Saturday race to watch. I was keen yesterday on 11 from 12. 12's out this morning, leaving me with one number at this stage, 11. So whilst I'm a bit disappointed looking at that 660, 680, I suppose yesterday it was 850 and number 12 was in, so I've got to adjust.
Yeah, it's thereabouts, isn't it?
There it is.
There it is, exactly. All right, race 4 is it sets up as a match race at the moment. We've lost Rare Episode, which seems to give Goldfinch the lead, and for 2s looks to have to sit outside the lead. Obviously, a lot of interest in how far he will drag back Masked Crusader, who is a horse with speed. So it doesn't seem, it doesn't seem a fait accompli, even though the map's suggesting it's going back to last. The same sort of gap is there in the early market that there was yesterday, and I marked them equal.
I think I marked them equal too. I remember I mentioned to you that 2 to 1 each of 2 and 2 to 1 the field. I'm warming a bit to Fatus, mate. We figured what a handy little horse Fatus is, and I think Mask is going to give it 5 lengths. It's a lot.
Yeah, well, I'd certainly be thinking that Fatus was a better horse than the blue colours that managed to hold out Masked Crusader. Obviously, the track condition had a say in that, but Masked Crusader was resuming at the scene of his dominant win. Now comes to Rosehill. The horse I speak of course, is Vada.
Even I knew that.
My
memory is getting better than yours, Lambert.
Hilo is a horse that seems to be hanging in there. Not really an expectation that it's an 1100 metre horse, but I suppose it would have won anything based on that first up win at Kensington last time. And remember at Glen, it was just the most dominating performance. Obviously, that was 12.50 at the time.
There's no doubt it looks C. And the market tells you that anyway. What am I saying? Nothing.
Race 5 is the first of the black type races, and Mwanga is hanging in there at the 2 to 1 mark, with a little bit of Overlords had a little bit of a correction here. I thought it did get too long based on the fact that it ran around 6 to 4 in the lead up, just because T. Clark jumped on it and Jay McDonald jumped onto Mwanga. It seemed to me that it was an excessive price Overlord, and I think you agreed with that.
Yeah, I did agree with that yesterday, and I don't know if it is a case of J Mac jumping off and T. Clark jumping on. I think a case of Chris rings you up and tells you what you're fucking doing.
Well, if you've got a horse like Overlord's already got some sort of spruik on it, although not reflected in the market here. Mwanga's is the new kid with the spruik, and Chris would be saying, well, look, I really want James on this to see how far this can go. I want the opinion on board.
Really interesting scenario today. This no form with this is a short price favourite with its lead up form, and I agree it's talented. Like, it's talented as all buggery, but just makes for interesting betting and interesting racing. Really looking forward to this race, Mark.
Yeah, and the other thing is, of course, that it's got no real racing style. I mean, it seems to have to, it has to overcome the fact that it's got no form and it doesn't get any favour in the
prior
run.
to the 300 at Newcastle, it looked like a giraffe. Legs going everywhere, but when it balanced up, it went zippity doo dah.
Yeah,
run past much.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if if the Nash polish on yardstick with the trial since and the likely control here could, and whether Chris has got anything to say about that with a horse that's clearly got pace but may not be used here, Global Quest. So yeah, still a bit of an enigma, that race. The run to the Rose, and it's one-way traffic fun, and it's 20,000 match there. It's trading at low twos. North Pacific is relatively unwanted. I did mark at $5, but I thought it would at least have.
How's it going to win?
Who? North Pacific?
No, Farnham.
Well, it's the poster boy for the day. So it's a horse that I suppose you'll be keen to lay eyes on, because he was.
I was so keen to. You'll only have to have a sniff of not looking right, and I won't be able to help myself. 6 of the last 7 Golden Slipper winners, I don't think won a race. Kiyomichi being the pin-up star.
Well, it's hard for them, but I mean, Vancouver and Capitalist come to mind straight away, and they resumed in the 1100 that was won by Anders 2 weeks ago. They both missed a place in those races. Farnan electing to resume in the race that Piero resumed in, which is this race, the Run to the Rose. Peltzer is hanging in there for a horse that supposedly got none.
Yeah, I think that's fair commentary. I think it's got none, and I can't believe it's hanging in there.
Well, it's got a 7 to 4 SP in the lead up.
Yeah, I suppose. Geez, you'd like to find a punter to take even money about Mammogram beating Peltzer, huh? I'd bet all day. Even have a billion with Gord.
All right, the Theo Marks and some suggestion from Chris Lees he doesn't want to lead on special reward, so that's seems ridiculous.
Did you
Train of
notice
thought.
how Hard Copy Man swapped our best bets?
Yes, I did fix it up in the
Good on you.
the app. So
Because this is your best bet.
yeah, it's my best bet. Special reward. Fun Star is 4,000 matched, and I don't know. There's something missing about this race. Someone will have a clue about this race that I haven't been able to detect. But obviously, the three in the market are the well, I would have said the leader, Special Reward. Fun Star is the favourite from the lead up, and Wild Planet, it was an unlucky runner from the lead up and looks to posse right up here for Tommy Berry Team Hawks. That's you know, a tough combination. So other than that, make of the rest of them what you will. Anything to add,
no
Glenn?
more clarity for me overnight. I'm confused. Yes, I'm confused now.
The mayor's race, and while I left Hope Beyond Her in, scratched Fiesta, who we're all completely sick of anyway. Fasika has been a drifter overnight, and now trading closer to the 5-2 mark than the 7-4 mark she was yesterday. Some tightening for Hope Beyond Her, and yet again like a cracking race with some talented mares. Obviously, the favourite has been primed for this. Gord suggested that an Everest slot meant that she was not going to be going missing here first up. She was all systems go.
Adelong found John Van Overmeer.
Yeah, which well, he should still land on the lead. Really, it's not a situation where you've got Invictus Salute and Musical Genius pressing up underneath you. So Adelong back to Rosehill, double figures here, looks worthy of a try.
Mm.
And yeah,
plenty of interest for 16 from all of us yesterday.
Subpoenaed, that's right. He left her at 1,200 after she sort of didn't quite get the right run there first up, and she looks like a sniper that that will be deadly late, given the race is likely to be under suit. All right, the nightcap 1,500 metres, and King's Air is a horse of great interest for yourself and Gord. Not a lot to say there. Betcha Flying still approaching double figures, most matched at this stage, a long way up from the race. And it should be mentioned that Dave Dwyer is betting 110% on these last two races from midday till 12:30, and that'll be to win 10 if you so desire at the 110% market. He's got best of the best on all meetings today, and his other promo is money back for second Masked Crusader up to $200.
Wow.
So yeah, he's put his corporate hat on there. That's a corporate type promo.
That is a corporate type promo, and interesting. An interesting horse to give money back for second, because maybe it is a horse that'll just win or do nothing. But anyway, that's who knows what he's thinking there. But that's a fair promo. Wow.
Yeah.
So you can have $200 on it, and if it runs second, money back.
That's it, Connie. You get the Connie price. You get
the concession, that is not Connie.
Yep.
Connie session for the punters that don't know. Yeah. Anyway, look, great day's card. I'm still interested in number 16 there in the last. It's one of my better bets of the day. King's Air. I know it'll probe well. I know it'll get a good run. I know the drier conditions will suit it. Looks a great card. Can't wait to see Farnham. Can't wait to see the stayer in the first. Hope to come home with some money.
Sounds good, and we hope that anyone that's not taken out a RacingRant sub recently, at least if you haven't tried it, you should, because you get 2 weeks free with no obligation. You can just duck out of it at any time, and you get a hell of a lot of content. 5 shows a week, huge sets from me for every metro meeting in Sydney. Obviously, the Mounting Yard Mail comes to you every Sydney Metropolitan Race Day. And if you open an account with Dave Dwyer, if you've not had an account with Dave Dwyer before, he'll pay your rant sub. So there's another offer in waiting for you in the wings.
That's if you deposit $500, Mark.
That's right. So look, jump on board, and more's the point. Look out for our Lismore Rant Academy, which is coming up just shy of 2 weeks, so 12 days time. We'll be running a gala punters club on the Thursday, Lismore Cup Day, 24th of September. I'll be announcing details of how you get involved in that early this week. Other than that, we hope you get a prize today, and we'll see you back here on Monday for the rant.
See you.